Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to be talking some more about fatherless homes and why they and woke culture have destroyed society, as well as a bunch of other topics of the day, like the JCPA Media Cartel Bill that's basically going to destroy the United States right now if it ever gets pushed through here, which looks like it might be because the fucking scumbag sacks of shit like Mitch McConnell, who are totally in league with China at this point, are pushing for it to be added to the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. That shouldn't have been enacted to begin with, because when you start looking into that thing and you look into indefinite detention in this country, you pretty much have no rights under the NDAA, is what it is, dude. You might as well say it's the anti-constitution, honestly, at this point, because it strips away any constitutional rights you have. They can indefinitely detain you for any amount of time without any due process at all, or having any kind of lawyer or anything like that, and it's just totally fucking insane. So, yeah, needless to say, it's gonna be bad shit. It's gonna be very bad shit if it gets enacted right now, dude. But there is a link out there in the description if anyone wants to come jump on the panel uh, and discuss things here. But mostly we'll just be talking about different things here. As I was saying earlier this afternoon about the Fatherless Homes thing, we were talking about that on Honda's chat last night, and this is something I've been discussing for the better part of probably like a good year or two now. Especially when it comes to a lot of these kids here in Ohio. There's a lot of kids that unfortunately, like myself, grew up without a father in the home. My thing was because obviously my father died when I was very young. Others, it could be something similar. It might just be that, single mother household is because, dad just dipped out before the kid was even born, kind of thing is what it is, dude. Because there's a lot of men out there that aren't really men. They're a bunch of little boys that act like they want to be men, is what it is. And so, when you have a bunch of young males of any race, color, or creed that just want to sit there and fucking, fuck around and stuff like that, not take responsibility for their, offspring, etc. It's a bad situation all the way around. And then the problem is when you also have, very crappy single mothers in a lot of cases that don't really want to do anything either. And these kids have basically no parents, is what it is. Or it could be both parents are in prison based on drug stuff or something like that, is what it is. And then you got grandma or older sibling, whatever, raising the kids. It's like, yeah, these people have no parental structure at all. They've had nobody to push boundaries against, to have it pushed back and be like, no, this is where the boundary ends, kind of thing. And so they end up being the ones that, when they look for father figures or whatever the case be, they'll tend to go out there and find these drug dealers or these, fucking leadership of the hoods, essentially, is what it is in most cases. Whether they be, the leadership of a gang that deals drugs and stuff like that, or whether it be the leadership of something else for that matter, that is into street violence and stuff like that. And then they tend to be the young kids at, 8, 10, 12, whatever it is, 14 in some cases. Most of the time anymore, it seems to be single digit years is that they're coming down to being, that they'll end up picking up, a firearm, whatever the case be, and going into the gang life by killing somebody. And I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of murders here in Ohio, especially in the Cleveland area in the last couple of years, that have been caused by that. It's young kids just trying to go home, dude. It's like 12, 14, 15 years old trying to go home, going home from school, going home after some sports game, whatever it is, dude, basketball, baseball, whatever it is. And it's like, oh, we want to take an alternate route here because it's like a better, safer area from this like community center that we went out of or whatever. And yeah, they just get killed. And that's what happened to one kid actually here. It was I want to say it was last year or maybe the end of 2020 that happened to. And you had people basically trying to call for, again, disarmament is what it was at the time. And it's like, dude, guns have nothing to do here. What the problem is it's a bunch of motherfuckers who want to pick up a gun to go join a gang where they can have a father figure, is what it is. And it has 100% to do with fatherless homes as a root cause issue, is what it is. And that's the biggest problem right now. And yes, Ohio, well, I don't know if Ohio is 100% the only home of serial killers, because California also has a pretty big fucking population of serial killers over the years and decades. So, but yeah, we were the two highest ones, is what it was. Although I have heard stories that apparently the California highways, it was some serial killer guy there that literally littered the pavement with children's bones and shit because he would grind up little kids and stuff like that he killed. And, it'd be like teeth and just like human remains basically embedded in the cement there in the highways of California. So, yeah, pretty sure that's why there's that many serial killers over in that state. I don't know why it is for Ohio. Maybe it's the same thing here. Who the fuck knows? Or it could just be, something in our water supply or, who the fuck knows, dude? Maybe it's just that we're such a quiet state that people can just do all kinds of crazy shit, is what it is, man. Although, to be fair, we also are a hub for, highway traffic and stuff like that. So it could be something like that, too, as well. That's also why we're a huge hub for human trafficking, for that matter. Unfortunately, that goes on every day. Nobody wants to talk about that, is what it is, dude. And, a lot of people say it's through the trucks and stuff like that. It could be the rail car system. I've heard somebody say that recently to me. It wouldn't surprise me if it was both, honestly, at this point in time in history. So, anyway, that being said, yeah, it's a whole bad thing. That's what it is, dude. And that's what I'm saying. Like, any of these major cities across this country, it could be, Cleveland, Ohio, or it could be a Dallas, Texas, or it could be, a Denver, Colorado, or it could be a Sacramento, California, whatever the case be. The larger the city is going to be, the more you're going to see stuff like this, and the more you're going to see these, ethnic ghettos, is what it is in most cases. And unfortunately, a lot of the times it does go down to a race-based kind of thing. Sometimes it doesn't, but there's a lot of times where when you start looking, especially when you start looking into, gun and firearm statistics and stuff like that for homicides and stuff, yeah, it does go directly based on race, is what it is, dude. And the sad part is, in a lot of cases, it's black on black crime. And it's the worst part of it is, almost every time when that gets addressed, when that, is addressed as the actual cause of violence and stuff in that case, boom, just gone from the cycle immediately, whether it be the media or whether it be from the neighborhoods talking about it or whatever it is, dude. It's like, nope, can't talk about that now. But yet, when it's a, white cop killing some black dude, like a fucking George Floyd situation or whatever the case be, then it's like, no, Black Lives Matter, and then some bullshit is what it is, dude. And it's like, but yet they didn't matter 5 minutes ago when some young black girl was killed by some black male, though, right? Or like here in Ohio, when 3 black males murdered Ace Lucas. And that kid has never gotten justice because at least 2 of the 3 are still out of prison right now, dude. They caught one of them, but they never caught the other 2, is what it was. Or like Ronan Sweeney, who was murdered by a black male. Or like Nilo Lattimore, who was murdered by a black male. 2 of the 3 of those kids are black, by the way. The only one that wasn't was Ronan. He was a little white kid whose mom was dating a black guy. And it was a bunch of black guys that ran into the house that night to try to steal people's corona checks, of all things, and murdered that kid in his mother's arms. And the guy that killed him has basically gotten a plea bargain deal and will not face the death penalty in this state, which is absolute bullshit entirely. He should be facing a fucking firing squad. And so should the murderers of Ace Lucas. And so should the murderer of Nilo Lattimore. And the one thing about Nilo was his dad actually was in the picture. It was just that the mom had broken things off with him and was dating the piece of shit that killed both her and their son. And if you look into that news story, dad got a bunch of shots and on that motherfucker in the courtroom. And I'm sorry, but like they should have just kept letting him go, man. Because that would have been the true justice of this country, honestly. Like, this motherfucker literally threw the guy's son off a fucking bridge, dude. Like, how are you not just gonna let him go at this motherfucker at that point? And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it just, oh my god. Oh. That's kind of shit just infuriates me beyond belief, honestly, dude. And then, when you start adding the woke culture bullshit to all this stuff, whether it be the Fatherless homes thing, and then you add in like all the crap from like Hollywood where it's like, oh no, a woman can be just as good as a man, and oh, you gotta have women to act like men and stuff like that. And it's like, no, you don't, dude. That's the one thing. When you look into a lot of TV series and stuff like that, dude, there are times when chicks go full alpha female, and it is some of the hottest shit ever. But when you have them act like a dude in a role, that's just fucking dumb. Or worse off, when you have them gender swap a role from a male to a female, that's even dumber, honestly. And they've done that so many fucking times anymore, dude. And if it's not gender swap, then it's race swapping. You know, it's why that one Fantastic Four movie failed like a motherfucker, because they literally fucking race swapped the Human Torch, who was always a fucking white dude, into a black dude. And it's like, what the fuck nonsense is that, dude? And the whole storyline behind it didn't make any sense either, for that matter. And it's why nobody wanted to see that piece of shit, honestly, dude. Not to mention the rest of that cast pretty much sucked, so that's besides the point. But yeah, it's just garbage, dude, what it is. And it's just Hollywood just trying to push the boundaries. Or even worse, now they're just doing like, oh, we got to insert gay character everywhere is what it is, dude. Or trans character this, trans character that is what it is. And it's like, no, you don't, bro. No, you don't. So, anyway. Yeah, needless to say, that's pretty much where we're at with that one, though. But, like I said, I think if we actually address the root cause of fatherless homes in this country, and especially the influence of woke culture and stuff like that, and kind of give it a knockback is what it is now, you would see a lot of things change very quickly. But meanwhile, to move on to actual news I want to talk about today besides this, because there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now, as I was saying before with the JCPA thing. So, two things with that. We got two different articles here. We got the first one, which is the JCPA contains a massive loophole for China, basically allowing Chinese propaganda into our United States media system is what it is. It says Journalism Competition and Prevention Act, or the JCPA, contains a loophole that would allow foreign news organizations, including Chinese organizations, to influence the flow of information in the United States, even as lawmakers prepare to attach the derailed media bailout bill to the National Defense Authorization Act, a bill to fund national defense. Well, that's not all that the NDA does do, by the way. Like and that's the problem I have with Breitbart sometimes, is that they'll sit there and claim it's like, oh, it's about national defense. It's like, not all the time, though, dude. Sometimes it is, and some parts of the NDA actually are about national defense and stuff like that. But yeah, the majority of it is actually about like funding fucking indefinite detention and shit like that, is what it is. So, but yeah, it's just a bunch of crap either way, dude. And honestly, this whole thing needs to be burned to fucking ashes, dude. They need to take every piece of this bill from the NDAA to the JCPA and just fucking torch it on the House floor at this point, dude. Seriously. Just have a burn barrel ready for that crap is what it is, dude. Just based on this garbage alone is what it is. So, anyway, and then like I said earlier, then you got where's the other one out here now? Yeah, then you got fucking Chi-Com fuckboy himself, Mitch McConnell, aka Mitch the bitch, fucking cokehead Mitch, turtle Mitch, whatever the fuck I call that asswipe at this point. Career rhino cunt is what I like to call him at this point. Sources: McConnell caves to Pelosi. Schumer allows JCPA media cartel bailout bill to be included into the defense package. So Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell has caved to outgoing House Speaker Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and will allow the National Defense Authorization Act to include the highly controversial media cartel bill, the Journalism Competition and Prevention Act. Sources familiar with the matters told Breitbart News. Over objections from House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, the likely next Speaker of the House on January 3rd of next year, other congressional leaders adjourned to lobbyist pressure and agreed to include the JCPA in the base text of the NDA. See, I'm sorry, but that kind of shit right there, when they're specifically talking about, quote, congressional leaders cave to the fucking lobbyist pressure, dude. No, this is why corporate lobbying needs to be fucking banned in this country, dude. And I've said it for fucking the past 6 months now at this point, because I'm so fucking sick of this shit, dude. And that's exactly why right there, dude. And honestly, I would say the same exact shit at a fucking state level, dude. There should, like, any of these people, like Moms Demand Action or fucking news organization or whatever the case be, it doesn't matter, honestly, dude. I don't care if it's like ABC, NBC, CBS, etc., or if it's like Moms Demand, Giffords, Everytown, fucking March for Our Lives, these people like that, dude. They should be banned from fucking lobbying at federal and state levels at this point, dude, because they're either trying to fucking censor our free speech at this point, or they're trying to censor our right to keep and bear arms at this point, is what it is, dude. And they're trying to destroy our right to keep and bear arms is what it is at the end of the day. And no, neither one of them should be allowed to fucking speak is what it is, dude. Because all you're doing is trying to fuck over everybody else is what it is. And that is exactly why I am personally okay. And I don't even care if people call me a hypocrite at this point, dude, because, even like Honda was saying last night on the NEA's channel and stuff like that, it's like sometimes you got to be the hypocrite, dude. And if you got to be the hypocrite to win, that's all fucking matters, dude, is what it is you are the fucking winner in the situation. And no, we're not winning when you got fucking piece of shit fucking corporate lobbyists censoring our right to have freedom of speech is what it is, dude, because that's what the JCPA actually is, dude. It ain't about journalism competition, anything, dude. It's about fucking censoring any kind of alt media there is out there, whether it be Alex Jones, Tim Pool, myself, etc., dude. That's all it is. It's about literally being able to fuck us out of having the ability to actually go out there and have a fucking voice, is what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit, dude. And yes, this will lead to a whole bunch of censorship if this is allowed to go through, man. Sorry. I had to cough there. I got some shit in my throat. For those that haven't heard, Christy Alley died last night from cancer. Sad. But anyway, so then JCPA has absolutely nothing to do with national defense. So the move, a swan song of sorts for Pelosi, who just announced that she is leaving congressional leadership but retaining her House seat after Democrats lost the majority of GOP in the midterm elections, is an amorous step for the outgoing leader in the past against precedent, as the NDAA has generally been reserved just for national security measures, as it fucking should be at this point, dude. And that's if it even needs to be, which it really doesn't, honestly. And that's the problem. It shouldn't have to be. Here's my problem with national security, right? If you really have a bill about national security, you shouldn't have to re up that bill every fucking year, is what it is, or every 2 years. Every 2 years is what it is. Hang on a sec. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, with the NDA and stuff like that, if this is truly about national security and national defense, you shouldn't have to re up a bill every year or two or a couple of years, whatever it's going to be. It should just be there, is what it is, dude. Like, as far as I'm aware, they don't re up the Patriot Act every fucking couple of years, is what it is. It's just there. I think they maybe add stuff to it every so often, but yeah, like it should just be like, here's the baseline thing. It's done. Period. But anyway, it says proponents of the JCPA have been struggling for over a year to move the controversial proposal through Congress, hitting roadblocks every step of the way in committee hearing and farce opposition from Republicans like McCarthy and others, including Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, Marsha Blackburn, Tom Cotton, and more. So that's why lobbyists supporting the bill on behalf of deep-pocketed industry interest zoned in on the two most passed legislative vehicles in the lame duck session of Congress as last-ditch efforts to pass it before GOP formally takes control of the House next year. Those things being the NDAA or a spending bill like an omnibus bill currently also being negotiated. Fuck both those bills, by the way. And I've said it before again, dude. This is exactly why I do not like lame duck sessions and why they should be outright banned in this country entirely. Because if you can't get... Here's my thing. These lazy motherfuckers at a federal level, dude, have like 300 plus days where their lazy asses could be in office right now doing shit, but yet they conveniently wait to push all of this horse shit in the last like 3 weeks of the fucking year after they lose an entire chamber of the United States branch when it comes to power, being the House. Like, nah, bro, you're done here. That is honestly why, if we had a We the People amendment, it should definitely include something in it that says specifically the day after any election cycle is the final day of any general assembly in this country, even at a state level and stuff like that. Be like, sorry, bro, you've had your time. You got till then to get it through. If you don't get it through, don't get it through by then. Tough luck. Introduce it next year. Get it done next year, and be better about it. Quit being a lazy bunch of fuckers is what it is, dude. Seriously. So, but anyway, continuing on here, said Right now. Yeah, it said we do this for omnibus bill. Said, but because the NDA is proving to be more of a lift than previously thought, the proponent or prospects of the omnibus spending bill to fund the government are dimming. In recent days, leaders may instead pursue a continuing resolution to fund the government at the year's end, which makes the NDA a more attractive prospect to these leaders to attach unrelated proposals like the JCPA, one to force them through in the weaning hours of the Congress into federal law. And that's exactly what we need to sue, by the way. We need to sue the shit out of these people over this whole thing, dude. Fuck this. Bunch of crap, dude, entirely. So JCPA, essentially a transfer of wealth from Silicon Valley to the discredited and distrusted corporate legacy media, is highly controversial. Beyond the financial payouts to media companies, they will be able to form a, quote, joint negotiating entity, a cartel immune from antitrust laws. That alone should see this fucker burned at the fucking right into a barrel, is what it is, dude. So they will also be able to form, yeah, I read that part already. Also be able to negotiate with big tech companies on the, quote, terms and conditions for carrying their content. Yeah, fuck that shit, dude. Censorship is sure to be a frequent demand of media companies, despite provisions in the bill that purportedly stop media companies from negotiating the suppression of any one competitor. There is nothing to stop them asking their content to be prioritized over broadly drawn categories that are used as pretext for censorship, like disinformation. So Breitbart News has closely covered how the bill continues to enable the censorship and sidelining of conservative media. This is via Breitbart News earlier. It said, even with the hastily added Senate amendment aimed at addressing conservative concerns regarding collusion between the media industry and big tech on the censorship of competitors, the bill still contains plenty of ways for the cartel to sideline conservative media, provisions to ensure the cartel cannot discriminate on the basis of viewpoint are particularly unconvincing. The pretext used by social media companies, quote, fact checkers, and other arms of corporate censorship are almost always viewpoint neutral. No one is censored for being a conservative, say the censors. They are censored for misinformation, hate speech, conspiracy theories, and other BS fucking viewpoint crap is what it is. So, yeah, bunch of shit, dude. So attaching unrelated provisions to any type of bill of must-pass bill is a highly criticized practice. It should be illegal, by the way. Anybody doing this should be in jail right now, dude. Period. They should be dragged out of fucking office at gunpoint by military. Is what it should be, dude. And be like, nope, you're no longer a fucking sitting U.S. congressman or senator or whatever it is, dude. Sorry, you've committed high fucking treason at this point. You're done here. And in a just country, that's what would have already happened decades ago at this point. So, fucking ridiculous, dude. But yeah, it's just fucking, oh my god, it pisses me off beyond belief, dude. Anyway, where are we at now? Yeah, it says criticized practice and bypasses deliberation on the floor on the merits of legislation, adds controversy to what is normally uncontroversial among lawmakers, and in this case, defense spending. So then, using the NDA to pass this bailout for media cronies, Democrats have specifically undermined the bipartisanship of U.S. national defense. Said absent enormous backlash against the move in the Senate, Democrats and their frequent enabler, McConnell, will have been allowed to use a defense spending package to establish a government-approved gravy train from one set of wealthy, powerful corporations in Silicon Valley to another, the world's largest and most powerful media companies. Fucking disgusting, dude. Fucking absolutely sickening. And people wonder why I get pissed. So, yeah. Fucking bullshit, dude. And then another thing that's fucking bullshit, going back to people who should be at the head of the table for the Nuremberg trials when they start. We have Rachel Levine on doctors calls on doctors to normalize becoming ambassadors to normalize transgenderism. And I'm just like, bro, how the fuck is this motherfucker not in prison right now for several reasons? So, yeah, it's just fucking weird, bro. We, so here's my thing with Levine in general, dude. This person should have already been in prison 2 years ago when they committed crimes against humanity against people of Pennsylvania when they were then health director of that state. So should Tom Wolfe. So should John Fetterman. The fact that this motherfucker is now Biden's like go-to bitch essentially, and is now trying to have doctors becoming ambassadors to push transgenderism on children. Yeah, not okay, man. Not okay. Not okay at all, bro. It's just fucked up, dude. Just super fucked up. And it's one of those situations where I'm just like, yeah, not okay, man. Not okay at all. So, anyway. Like, I don't even know what to say at that one, dude. I'm trying to remember what this motherfucker even is now. Oh, yeah. That's the worst part. Assistant Secretary of Health is what this asshole is, dude. Like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? This person is a health person? Like, good lord, bro. Come on. Jesus Christ. Fuck. And we wonder why our country's so fucked. We wonder why our country's being destroyed or society's being destroyed, dude, from fucking people like that. From absolute nut bars like that who need to be in a fucking nut house someplace. Anyway, another thing I want to talk about real quick. This is one thing I thought was very interesting, and this is something I've talked about several times in this series when it comes to people having no base or whatever, and then sort of falling for anything kind of thing is what it is. So you have people, as it said here, it says religious nons skew heavily Democrat and pro-abortion from a new report that was released. So for those wondering what that means by religious nons, it's Americans with no religious affiliation or belief skew heavily towards the Democrat Party in their voting, according to a new report this weekend released by Associated Press. Said recent U.S. midterms, self-identified religious nons voted for Democrat House candidates by more than 2-to-1 margin, 65% to 31%, over Republicans, according to data showed in that AP Votecast. Said similarly, in 2020 presidential election, Democrat Biden took nearly 3/4 of the non-religious voters, while Republican President Donald Trump took about 25% of that demographic. Some 29% of U.S. adults identify as nons, atheist, agnostic, or nothing in particular when it comes to religious stuff, or a jump of nearly 10% points over the past 10 years. In recent midterms, approximately 22% of the voters were non-religious people, or roughly the same number as Roman Catholics. That's fucking sad, dude. And we continue on with the rest. It says, at least among white people, it's become clear that the Democrat Party has become the party of the non-religious people. Ryan Berg, a professor of political science at Eastern Illinois University, said, according to the survey, Democrats with no religious affiliation are overwhelmingly pro-abortion, much more so than their religious counterparts. Says 60% of religious unaffiliated Democrat voters assert that abortion should always be legal, whereas just 40% of Democrat voters affiliated with Christian traditions say that the same thing should happen. Said moreover, 69% of religious unaffiliated Democrat voters identify as liberal, while 46% of Democrats affiliated with Christianity embrace their identity as Christians. So, yeah, needless to say, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting in general. So, anywho, let's see what else do I got to talk about here. Got a couple more. Actually, this is interesting. So, we all know about the Hunter Biden laptop story and stuff like that with Twitter censoring the shit out of that and stuff like that. So you got two interesting stories that came out of that, actually. The first one being this one here, which is Kyle Rittenhouse wants Elon Musk's Twitter to reveal hidden censoring about him. So I would not be surprised by that, honestly, dude. If there was like a bunch of like pro Rittenhouse stuff being censored like crazy there. But yeah, it says Rittenhouse recently questioned the release of Elon Musk's Twitter files, asking for information about whether or not there was hidden censoring regarding his story will be made public through the continuing release of inside information. And then besides that, you also had this other one here, which was this up real quick here. Nick Sandman asked Elon Musk to release hidden Twitter files on death threats. For those who don't know who Nick Sandman was, he was the kid who was smiling in the MAGA hat and that fucking piece of shit Nathan guy who claimed to be Native American and like a Vietnam vet or something like that was like beating the drum in his face. And that guy was a fucking asshole piece of crap is what it was. And he was also a convicted felon, if I'm not mistaken, who it turned out was never really an actual combat vet. He was actually just a piece of crap, like repairman in the fucking military or something like that. And then fuck with this kid's life. And this kid was the one who was able to sue the media for a bunch of money is what it was. But yeah, it says former Covington Catholic high school student Nicholas Sandman recently asked Twitter owner Elon Musk to publish any files relating to death threats he has received on the platform as a 16-year-old student, as he should have those things. Said Fox News reports that former Covington Catholic high school student Nicholas Sandman, who was targeted by the media following a viral video featuring him smiling at Native American man who was beating a drum in his face, asked Twitter owner Elon Musk to release any files related to the platform, allowing death threats against him. Sandman said, "As I'm watching all this play out, I'm wondering if Elon Musk has any hidden Twitter files relating to what went on here. Let's be clear, under the watch of Vijaya, they allowed these illegal threats when I was 16 years old." And then it says all the stuff here about Sandman having death threats put against him here. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, man. Pretty fucked up. It was a Salmon shared a number of screenshots in which verified Twitter accounts called for, quote, mega kids such as Salmon to be thrown into the wood chipper and his school be burned to the ground with his classmates inside. God damn, dude. This is exactly why I've said for some time we're going to have a civil war in this country, dude. Like, there's no way we're not. It's going to be like a balkanization, civil war mixture, I think, at this point, honestly, in history. So, it was his Breitbart News reported in December 2021 that Salmon had settled for $275 million defamation suit against NBC News at the time. Let's see, Rittenhouse also recently said he hoped that Twitter's censorship campaign against him may be exposed days after Twitter owner Elon Musk announced the Twitter files, which detail the company's censorship efforts to suppress Hunter Biden laptop story. Says, learning about the Twitter files and Elon Musk releasing the truth is making me more and more curious to find out if there was any hidden censoring regarding my story and case on Twitter. I am hoping one day soon I will be able to find out the truth. And the truth will be shown to all of us, Rittenhouse wrote. Rittenhouse also was found not guilty last year on murder charges during protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse said he was attacked and acted in self-defense. He was cleared of any wrongdoing in the case. Well, it's funny how they say he said these things. There's literally video evidence of him acting in self-defense that night, dude, against multiple attackers that were all BLM and Antifa, dude. Hell, even that one fucking ass clown, Gage Grosskreutz, literally says to Kyle's face, where are you going, bro? He's like, oh, I'm going to the cops, and then tried to kill him like less than 2 minutes after that. Pulled a fucking Glock on him, which, by the way, Gage had no legal right to have because he was a convicted fucking felon for burglary charges and other shit like that, dude. And had lost his actual concealed carry license because of that. So yeah, that dude was I don't understand how that guy hasn't caught charges at this point, dude. Or that piece of shit Joshua Zeminski or anybody else like that, dude. It's just insane to me. Just insane, bro. This is the insane Democrat war we live in, is what it really is, man. But anyway, we got a couple more here. Got This one I thought was pretty fucked up, and this goes back to why we need to have teachers tossed out of schools in some cases entirely, which is California teacher with classroom library of books about BDSM, orgies, and kinks says it helps students discover their identities. You mean discover your identity that you're a fucking child molester? Because I think that's what it really discovers, bro. Seriously, man. Why the fuck are these people even in schools, man, at this point? It's fucking ridiculous, dude. And then we got, where's the other one out here? We got one more after that, which is about what you call it. And then we're going to talk about Oregon's BM 114 thing and how unconstitutional that crap is. So we got this one out of Nebraska. We got pro-life group in Nebraska received shooting threat note allegedly signed by the Jane's Revenge people. Fucking insane, dude. But yeah, it's the right that are violent, right? No, it's the fucking left-wing nut jobs that are a bunch of fucking terrorist organizations, dude. That's what it really is. Seriously, fucking ridiculous. But yeah, we got two here for the Oregon thing. We got one that's a Breitbart story, and we got one that is a non-Breitbart article here, which is the one from, I think it's called the Roundup or something. So this one from Breitbart here was Oregon firearm sales skyrocketing as Oregon residents rush to get ahead of gun control. Says firearm sales are skyrocketing in Oregon as residents rush to get ahead of the ballot measure 114's effective date of December 8th, which is literally this coming Thursday. So December 1st, 2022, Breitbart News reported lawsuits were filed against BM 114. For example, the Associated Press noted that the Oregon Firearms Federation, together with a local sheriff and a gun store owner, are asking the court to declare the law unconstitutional and issue an injunction to prevent it from going into effect next week. So here's my problem with the whole thing entirely. This fucking piece of shit ballot measure happened with less than 2% of the fucking vote, dude. It was like 1.6% of the voters voted for this crap, dude. That's how much it won by. Like, fuck that, dude. No. First of all, the fact that this ballot measure was even accepted for their ballot to begin with was bullshit entirely, because whoever the fuck the Secretary of State of Oregon is right now, dude, should be tossed out of office based on that alone, because they should have tossed this thing in their fucking faces when they tried to submit it, what it was, dude. They should have been like, no, you cannot put a ballot measure on our fucking state thing to try to amend our constitution that directly infringes upon our constitutional rights here, dude. Fuck you. You were trying to put a ballot measure through that directly infringes on people's Second Amendment rights of the U.S. Constitution. You're not putting that on our fucking ballot. Fuck off. Like, that's what they should have said to their faces at that point, dude. So, anyway. I'm actually going to address something right now. So, yeah, for those interested, there's going to be the Columbus City Council is doing their thing today. Most likely, it's supposed to be, I believe, tonight, actually, is when they're doing their council meeting to discuss if they're going to do gun control stuff. Which, by the way, if that passes, it'll either be tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. I'm going to get a lawyer and sue the fuck out of them on that one. Because, yeah, they can fuck off, dude. They're not passing that shit at a local level because we have preemption here. And they're breaking state preemption again. And I have no problem with making Ohio Patriot Education Network the final gun org that sues the fuck out of them at this point, dude, because Andrew Ginther and company there in the city council should have already been thrown out of office years ago, because they've done this shit at least 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years, dude. And the fact that they haven't been tossed out of office at this point is bullshit, dude, entirely. It's like, no, you have pulled this crap enough times to where you don't need to be mayor anymore, Ginther. And neither does these fucking city council members that are pushing this crap through, dude. So, anyway, but yeah, going back to the BM 114 thing here, though. Says Firearms Policy Coalition is also suing in an attempt to stop implementation of the high capacity magazine ban contained in 114. Said December 5th, Fox News observed firearms enthusiasts in Oregon are flocking to gun stores as they wait to find out whether a federal judge will delay the start of the strict permit to purchase law before Thursday's deadline. says BM 114 passed narrowly, receiving 50.65% of the vote on November 8th. In addition to banning ammunition magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, the measure requires Oregon residents to require a permit in order to purchase a firearm. A permit to purchase costs $65, and in late October, Breitbart pointed out that Clatsop County Sheriff Matt Phillips voiced concern over BM 114 licensing requirement would prove cost prohibitive for poorer state residents. Yeah, it's nothing more than, like I said before, dude, this entire thing is a bunch of fucking Jim Crow laws from like the 1950s because Bloomberg is a fucking racist asshole who is behind this whole fucking thing, dude. You have Bloomberg, Everytown, Giffords, etc., that have all put money into this fucking ballot measure, dude. Based on that alone, based on their financial backing of it, it should have been tossed out the fucking window. Because it's done by a bunch of racist assholes, dude. For real. And you cannot tell me that Bloomberg's not a racist asshole when his whole entire fucking stop and frisk shit directly targeted black males when he was fucking mayor of New York City at the time, dude. And it's why his ass got sued a bunch of fucking times over that shit. But it wasn't the money coming out of his pocket. It was money coming out of New York State and New York City, dude, is what it was. Even though it should have been direct losses against Bloomberg's ass and bankrupting that cocksucker into the fucking ground back then. So, anyway, continuing on though, it said that County Sheriff Matt Phillips said from the entity equity perspective, it's a barrier to people with lower incomes from legally possessing a firearm. It just adds one more expense. Exactly, dude. And that's the entire point, dude. This is the entire point of Bloomberg's bullshit entirely and has been for fucking decades since that asshole basically has started doing the anti-gun shit, dude. He is a fucking racist who hates poor people. He is a classist piece of fucking shit globalist douchebag who wants to destroy the Second Amendment by any means necessary and specifically thinks that, oh, you poor peon people don't need to have fucking gun rights at all. It's like, no, you don't need to have fucking about 10 bodyguards around you at all times, you fucking Napoleon piece of shit wannabe. Fucking dictator, little cunt bitch. I'll tell you what, I would love to fucking fight Bloomberg at this point, dude. One-on-one combat. Fisticuffs, bro. And I guarantee you, it would be me versus him, and I would fucking destroy his ass in that fight, dude. It'd be like a one-punch knockout. And he ain't getting back up from that punch, dude. So, anyway. But anyway, so that was the second to last article we're going to talk about. The last article we're going to talk about here is this one, which is from the Reload. This was from, I got this off NEA's Discord earlier today, which was, Oregon admits all gun sales will stop on Thursday, asks judge to temporarily block new law, which the fucked up part of this whole thing actually is. They still claim that this BS ballot measure is actually constitutional, even though it would totally fuck over everybody having guns in that state, though, and being able to purchase them. So, anyways, his Oregonians won't be able to legally buy guns after December 8th if the new ballot measure initiative goes into effect. That's according to the Oregon Department of Justice, which is tasked with defending ballot measure 114 in court. DOJ's latest filings related to 4 cases against the law asked federal district judge Karen Immigut, a Trump appointee, to delay implementation of the permit to purchase and mandatory training requirements. Said the state agrees that the court should enter an order providing a limited window in which Oregonians will be able to purchase firearms even if they do not have a permit, while also allowing Oregonians to apply for and be issued permits. Brian Simonens Marshall, Assistant Attorney General, said in the filing. So basically some Democrat douchebag is what it is. It's like Assistant AG there is what it would be. Said filings cast further doubt on the viability of the gun control measure. After passing by just 1.6%, the ballot measure came under immediate legal scrutiny from gun rights advocates as supporters scrambled to explain how the law could possibly be implemented within 30 days of the vote. How the fuck is that even possible, dude? Dude, if you have, my God, bro, if you have something go through a General Assembly in most states, it takes 90 fucking days to go into effect. I know that for a fact because I fought for constitutional carry here in Ohio for over a fucking year. And it took 90 days after DeWine signed into place for it to go into effect, dude. So how the fuck are you going to, quote unquote, allow this shit to go into effect in 30 days? That's just fucking insane, bro. By the way, I've been calling this crap out since fucking election day, pretty much, dude. Like, as soon as I heard about BM 114, I was gonna say BLM 114 because that's pretty much what this is at the end of the day, dude. But no, since I've heard about ballot measure 114 here, I called it out pretty much election day, bro. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So, anyway. But yes, this is the total elimination of legal gun sales looming. Oregonians have set records by flooding gun shops ahead of the deadline. The DOJ delayed request fails, and gun sales in the state are woefully eliminated. The law is unlikely to survive the multiple challenges to its constitutionality because it hasn't been ever constitutional, dude. It's like I said before, it should have never been allowed to even be a ballot measure. It should have never been allowed to be part of that fucking in 2022 midterm election cycle. The second that the Secretary of State's office got this crap put on a fucking desk someplace and started reading through it, they should have been like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? This is not fucking legal. Get the fuck out of here with this Bloomberg bullshit. They should have tossed it back in the people's fucking faces and said, get the fuck out of our office, dude. Don't ever come back here with that crap or you'll be arrested. And that's exactly how that should have ended. Anyway. But anyway, where we're at now. Yeah, it said Oregon allowed the delay is Oregon argued the delay is only necessary to overcome implementation issues. It said the underlying requirements are consistent with the Second Amendment. No, they're fucking not, you lying bastards. I also like to point out, by the way, that Kate Brown is still the fucking governor of Oregon, the same fucking cunt who, like, 3 years ago or so, tried to create a fucking civil war between Oregon and Idaho over her dumbass cap and trade fucking shit, dude. She almost had a bunch of state reps from Oregon murdered in Idaho to push through some fucking dumbass retarded climate change crap there in Oregon, dude. Because we can be the first to do this thing. Oh, by the way, it doesn't actually do anything to help American people, but we can be the first at something. Fuck you, cunt. Seriously. Like, that alone should have seen her toss out of office right then there, dude. The fact that she wasn't. Anywho, says this is the statement for the state of Oregon, aka the dumb fucking cunts like Kate Brown in office right now. Said the state's position on ballot measure 114 is constitutional on its face remains the same. That Marshall guy wrote, which is the assistant AG guy, said, as our briefing will explain, there is no basis to enjoy Measure 114's provision governing the issuance of permits to purchase, its restrictions on large capacity magazines, or various provisions requiring completed background checks when firearms are purchased. Except it's completely unconstitutional, you asshole, and all those things, because you are literally creating Jim Crow laws in 2022, bro. You are creating a racist and classist fucking barrier for poor people. And yes, a lot of poor people are minorities, black, brown, etc. And you are fucking them over from being able to own a firearm because you're putting another fucking fee in front of them. That now instead of being able to go get that $200 gun or $300 gun, whatever it's going to be, now it's going to be another $65 on top of that. Oh, now they have to have fucking training on that firearm, etc., etc. Okay, is that before or after they get the firearm, dude? Or is this going to be like some bullshit like New York where you have to go through the thing, but you can't even have the gun until you go through the training, and it becomes this retarded fucking catch-22 where it's impossible to even get a gun there? Because I think that's really what this is, honestly, dude. It's some bullshit doublespeak garbage by some fucking asshole piece of shit Bloomberg-style lawyers that wrote this crap up is what it is, dude. Who should have been disbarred decades ago. So anyway, it says, however, every major gun rights group in the country disagrees. The NRA, Gunners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, or their state affiliates have all filed lawsuits against the initiative. Alan Gottlieb, whose Second Amendment Foundation has also filed suit against the law, said DOJ's filing proves the law is inoperable. Quote, even the Oregon Attorney General has to admit that the law is unworkable. We think it needs to be thrown out of court in total. Yes, it does need to be. Thank you, SAF. It said Oregon DOJ told the Trump-appointed judge there, the main issue lies with developing and implementing the required firearms training by the deadline, which would be impossible, by the way. There's no way you're implementing that shit in the next 2 days, dude. You're just not. Even if you had like a year and a half, you probably couldn't do it, honestly, at this point, dude. Again, toss it out in total because it's non-constitutional based on that alone, dude. Anyway, this Oregon DOJ said, quote, local law enforcement partners have made it clear that necessary pieces of permit-to-purchase system will not be in place by December 8th. Of course they're not going to be, dude. How could they be? It would be impossible for them to be. Said most significantly, ballot measure 114 requires a person applying for a permit to purchase a firearm to present their police chief or county sheriff with proof of completion of a firearm safety course. And how the fuck are you going to do that when you don't have a gun to be... Again, as I said, what was it, 2 minutes ago? That's exactly what the shit is, dude. It's exactly like New York. It's a fucking catch-22 where you have to have a gun already to be able to pass a firearm safety course to then turn around and be able to buy a gun. So if you're a first-time gun buyer, guess what? You're fucked. Or unless you have a friend that's going to loan you a gun, you're fucked. Which even then... How long until they do with that shit, dude? Oh, your cousin can't let you borrow their gun to take your firearm safety training course thing? Oh, tough luck to you, buddy. Oh, your best friend can't let you borrow their gun? Oh, nope, tough luck to you, dude. It's bullshit, dude. It's fucking unconstitutional beyond, but like, Mike, how the fuck did this ever become a thing, dude? Seriously. How did this ever be allowed to be on their ballot measures? It's insane. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Turning out this though, it said, where right now? Yeah, it's having to prevent the proof of completion firearm safety course. Said after the court's December 2nd, well, because I assume firearm safety course would be live fire training as well. That's why I'm saying the whole gun thing, by the way. Because most are actually at that point. Because it would almost be like a CCW course at that point, which you would have to have a gun to do stuff, unless they're running. Well, I don't know, maybe. I mean, it gets hairy, but even then, you know, you think about that logistically, right? So with that, if you're doing a CCW course, even if they had the guns provided for you to use and stuff like that, that would still be another fee as well. Because now instead of you paying, you know, $200 for your initial gun, now you're gonna pay like $400, $500, $600 whatever it is, dude, for all the fees relating to the shit to even get the gun. Like, yeah, this is 100% attack on poor people, dude, is what it is. Like, how is it not? How is this not a fucking classist issue at this point, dude? As well as a racist issue, for that matter. So, yeah, it's ridiculous, dude, entirely. Anyway, let's see where we're at now. So after the court's December 2nd hearing, the state learned from local law enforcement agencies that one element of the safety course, an in-person demonstration, okay, there you go, in-person demonstration before an instructor certified by law enforcement agency, will not be available by December 8th. State said it could take months beyond the December 8th deadline to make a workable system under the law. Said as such, it became clear that the police chiefs and sheriffs who serve as the sole permitting agents under ballot measure 114 will not be prepared to issue permits on December 8th. Executive Director Myers represented that it will take at least another month to prepare an operational permit system. Said that judge is scheduled to issue a decision on whether the temporarily blocked the law sometime this week. And that was the end of this article then. So, yeah, it's just fucking nuts, dude. And then, of course, you know, we do have that too. Secretary of State of Arizona, Katie Hobbs. How the fuck was she even allowed to run for governor in that state, dude? I would even say the same thing for Brian Kemp, honestly, in Georgia in 2018, dude. Because he was able to do the same fucking thing, basically. Like, that's the only reason he's governor there right now, dude, is because he was able to be like, hey, we know Stacey Abrams was cheating like a motherfucker. I'm just going to stop the vote counting at this point. And he did. Is when it was, and then became governor. Like, 2 minutes later is when it was, dude. Even though neither one of them should be governor of that state ever. In my opinion, anyway, dude. Like, that's what I don't get, man. Like, sorry, if you're running for a higher office, like your current Secretary of State of a state, dude, is what it is, and you're running for governor, guess what? You're not Secretary of State anymore. How about that? How about it's that simple, dude? Or if you're the AG at the time or whatever, guess what? You're stepping down from that position to run for governor, and you're not holding political power at all in that time period then, dude. Whether it be a few months, whether it be a year, whatever, it doesn't matter, honestly. And then there would be a temporary person in that seat of power is what it would be then. Until the next election cycle is what it would be then. Like, whether it be their, assistant or whatever steps up. Because I'm assuming there's like an assistant fucking Secretary of State for people is what it is, though, or something like that guy there, which was like an assistant AG or something kind of thing is what it would be. It'd be like that second in command person now become the person in command is what it would be. It's kind of like a ship where you got the captain and then you got the I forget exactly how the Navy works when it comes to titles. Like they're, I want to say first mate, but that's not who it is actually. That would just be a regular ship. Whatever the fuck that Slattery guy was in the last ship to the main guy that Eric Dane played, it'd be something like that kind of deal. So, but yeah, it's just fucking nuts, dude. It's just so insane to me. Completely psychotic, bro. Completely psychotic. So, anyway, I just don't get it, man. It just blows me away entirely, man. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. I'll be on for a couple more minutes in the back chat if anyone wants to come in the back chat. Links in the description. I'm also going to drop it in the side chat here for a minute. So I'll probably be here like 5 minutes or so. But other than that, I'm probably going to go to sleep here pretty soon because my throat's kind of still hurting quite a bit. And, obviously I had to stop talking for a few minutes there because I was coughing like crazy. So, but yeah, it's just nuts. It really is. It's just so insane. And again, a lot of this goes back to the fact that you have a voter block of people, specifically there in Oregon, who come follow us home. This is what it is, dude. And I'd like to point out the people that were probably voting for this shit are the same BLM and Antifa motherfuckers who were burning down the city in 2020. There is what it was, dude. Who should be multi-time felons and shit right now. And the only reason they're not is because you had fucking shitty-ass Soros-paid DAs letting them off the hook is what it was, dude. With slaps on the wrist and misdemeanors at most is what it would be. And so there's still a lot of voting rights there is what it is. And they probably use those to vote the stupid ballot measure into place is what it is, dude. Which that alone should have actually as well. Nope, null and void. Fuck you. Get the hell out of here with that. So, anyway. But yeah, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.